Hi, I'm Gary, welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm looking at the latest version of the awesome CH-54A Tarhe in 1/35th scale from ICM. This one comes with the Universal Military Pod and is based on the kit first released in 2023. If you enjoy the show, then please do remember the best way to support the channel for free is to subscribe. Hit the bell and you'll be notified of all my future content as it's published, and don't forget to hit the like button as well. Let's make a start. Okay, so this enormous box, the lid lifts vertically up. This is common to most things that ICM do. The glossy lid comes off the top. Then there's a huge box inside with the lid, and there's lots and lots and lots. This bag is what, 1, 2, 3 bags of plastic parts, plus a bag of the transparent parts. There's the instruction leaflet here, which is quite large as well. Inside of this, normally, yes, here it is the decal sheet and, of course, a leaflet advertising ICM paints. Let's have a look at all these different bits in a bit more detail. Here we have frame A. This is essentially the upper sort of structural part of the helicopter. This is the base of the cockpit area, and this is the rear of the part of the cockpit area with the viewing ports as well. Frame B are primarily, these are parts of the tail section, as you can see, the canted tail area here, and top and bottom panels for it as well. Frame C, these are it's more top and bottom panels for the tail section, I guess. Various bits and pieces, maybe the side sponsons as well, and some wheels. Frame D and more huge panels. I think these are the side panels of the primary beam at the top of the helicopter. These are going to be the structural parts for the supports of the undercarriage, I'm guessing. Lots of bits of the transmission assembly and hub assembly at the top of the helicopter as well. Frame E is primarily the cockpit area. You can start to get a feel for just how big this thing is. Looking at the size of it, this is the edge of a very, very, very long cockpit here. Huge thing. Frame F is these are the main hubs, tail hubs, various parts of the transmission, engine inlets and exhausts, and so on. Frame G is just basically a lots of details of pipe work and little gizmos and parts of winching and all sorts of things like that. All the things that give this kit its insane level of detail. A lot of them are here. Then we have frame H, wheels, inlets, again, lots and lots and lots of detail stuff. Lots of detail stuff that is quadruplicated because you get 4 of these frame Gs. Sorry, frame H. You get 4 of these frame H's. You also get 3 copies of frame J. These are the rotors, and each rotor is a single piece. You don't have to glue them together. It's a single piece molding for each rotor. And of course, this being the CH-54, it has 6 main rotor blades. Last part of the base kit is this frame, which is frame K, and this of course contains all the transparent parts for the helicopter. Now for the parts of the Universal Military Pod. This is frame A1, the roof and the floor pan of the pod. Frame B1 has the 2 side walls, as you can see, with access doors and windows. There are 3 frames C1. These each contain lots and lots of seating, so you can put rig up your universal military pod as a complete like troop carrier, if you wish. There's also wheels because these things could be wheeled around to be placed underneath the helicopter, then winched into position. And then there is frame D1. These are the end walls. This is the flooring, so this sits inside. You've already seen the underside of the pod. This is like the interior floor here, and the various bits of suspension for it as well. And finally, there's frame E1, which are the transparent parts for the universal military pod. The decal sheet is very nice. It's seems well printed. The colours look pretty good. I will say the reds maybe not as bright as I'm quite used to seeing. Maybe some of these colours here are slightly washed. I suspect these are dot printed rather than screen printed with individual colours, which is a very, very expensive process, as anyone who has had to buy things from Cartograph will tell you. They're not cheap, but they do make really good colour. But they're printed well, not printed badly at all. And I think, given the size of the thing, when you put them on, they'll look okay. But let's have a bit of a closer look just to make extra sure. So here's a bit more of the detail. This is our 0.5mm pencil lead for size comparison. And yeah, it seems sharp enough. As I say, the colours look very slightly strange to me. Not absolutely spot on, but without really going to individual, like multiple screen print colours, you're not going to get much better. Instrument panels look okay. I know you can get resin alternatives to all of these to make them look even sharper. Again, it's quite a size, this decal. The markings look good, but I'm sure there's much more colour in a screen, in a instrument panel like that. Maybe there isn't, but I thought there would be. But they're sharp enough where they are. Again, they're going to appear largely on green, so you're not really going to notice the sharpness too much. The yellows, yeah, they look okay. Yellow is a very difficult colour to print, as I've mentioned before. They look okay. These red and white stripes are for the tail rotor blades, the tips of tail rotor blades. The main blades use these strips of yellow all over the place. But do you know what? They're alright. They're okay. They're not Cartograph, but then they're not rubbish either. So they'll look good. The instruction leaflet, as you might imagine for something with very nearly 700 pieces, is quite significant in itself. It's quite bulky in itself, however. It's very nicely done. A repeat of the box art on the front as usual, 1/35th scale, the reference 53057. Again, a brief history of the helicopter and some technical specifications in Ukrainian and in English. There are colour callouts related to ICM's colours, of course. You can go online and at ICM and get other alternatives from other manufacturers for these numbers. There's a brief translation of the various icons they use, and here there's a couple of QR codes which are really cool. The first one is for the build of the helicopter itself, and the second one for the build of the Universal Military Pod. These are animated step-by-step videos derived from the CAD drawings, so really, really nicely well done. It can be useful sometimes if the instructions aren't clear. If you're there's a part here you built and then you're going to slot something inside and you can't really see what's on there. These videos tend to show you exactly where things go. They're really, really useful. So there's QR codes added for that. They're just on YouTube. Inside the instructions, we have the frame maps. Quite a lot of frame maps because quite a lot of very big parts and lots of small parts as well. Actually, not so many parts that you're not using. They sort of orange out things that aren't going to be used in this kit. There's a lot of things that are going to be used in this kit. Here are from here on are the ones for the Universal Military Pod. Obviously those are the main rotor blades there. And yeah, that's the last of those. And then into the instructions themselves, you can see they're essentially, what are these, isometric? Someone would tell me if I've got that wrong. They're line drawings. There's not much use of shading. There's bits and pieces now and again to indicate colours and things that it should be painted different colours. The colour codes are in these large red square boxes, all colour references. So you might want to just go through sometimes and just lay out what A and D are, for example. They're fairly straightforward. I think they're very well broken down. Like ICM in recent years have really gone to a lot of trouble to actually do things like this, rather than just allowing an exploded diagram to actually go step by step by step by step. Really nicely put together instructions, I think. Generally speaking, they're very, very good. As I say, for things that are maybe not entirely clear where things should go, then the videos are superb for that. But as you can see, essentially it's a box. The main structure is all a box, basically, with sides and tops and bottom. Yeah, so it's all very straightforward. As I say, there's lots of small parts because the engines and hydraulic systems and everything are exposed on this for minimizing the weight so that they can maximize the lifting capacity. So this is the main hub here, which is so complicated, so cool. Oh, it's beautiful, but very complex. Yeah, engines are exposed as well. So if you like, weathering stuff and detailing stuff, this is absolutely the kit for you. There's so much detail you can bring out here. And then there's the air box for one of the variants as well, the air filter box for one of the variants. And then there's the Universal Military Pod itself. It starts here. As you can see, lots and lots and lots and lots of seats. There's a lot of seating. You can put in 3 complete rows of seats for 15, so that's 45 seats in total. That's going to be quite some work to do that. There are windows so you can see into, marvel at your own work, and there are doors at the end as well, of course, you can have open. Then there are these, this is the wheels that, you can either have this thing, you can either have the pod on its wheels or with wheels retracted when it's actually slung up onto the helicopter. Yeah, and there it is. Sling it on. And then finally, the main part of the hub itself. And then you slot the rotors on, and that's your kit. So there are 3 variants here. This one from 295th Aviation Company in Germany in 1972. Now, interestingly, let me just double check on this because it looks to me like they have got. Yeah, see, they say here for variant 1 you're building this box, and variant 1 here doesn't have the filter box on it. So maybe for variant 1 you leave it alone. Variant 2 does have the filter box on it. This is one from the Keyfield ANG base in 1982, Air National Guard. Yeah, it's number 2 that has got the box because number 3 doesn't either. This is 113th Aviation Regiment at Reno Airport in 1989. Okay, so that's the instructions. There it is. I hope you enjoyed that look inside the box. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications of new material, and please don't forget the Imperial thumbs up on the like button. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Take good care now, and goodbye.